Hi guys, Storm here with another video. So I just got done playing with this really trashy noob, and he would not stop freaking out, right? And I was telling him, hey, I can help you if you want, but I wasn't gonna simply give him the answer. People would benefit by learning things for themselves. So I was just trying to help him along, right? And he wasn't really getting it. And his last box that he was missing was at, the train. And he's like, I'm missing train station box, the trick or treat box. And I'm like, you do realize it's not the train station box, right? He's like, yeah, it is. It's the train station box. You know, locations vary. I'm like, right, but there's no locations that vary in train station. Train station is train station. It is the part of the continent. It doesn't just uplift itself and teleport. You know, Um, Now, so there's the metro train station, which would be underground, right? And I'm thinking that's what he was thinking, which I can understand his thought process. But I'm like, but that's not what he was saying. He's like, no, it's actually the train station. I'm like, are you talking about the metro underneath the ground? He's like, no, the actual train station. I'm like, okay, so that's not his thought process. So he's just a freaking idiot. Like, okay, good. Um, and it's like it kept going back and forth between like basically his thought process and the way it was coming across and the way he was. It's like he was being an idiot, and it's like, dude, don't touch the stove. And he's like, I'm not touching the stove. I'm like, but I'm just letting you know, I want to touch the stove. Like, dude, I see you're just touching the stove right now. Why are you saying you're not touching the stove? I'm like, dude, let me speak. I'm like, okay, I want to touch the stove. I'm like, okay, but you shouldn't touch the stove. And it's like he just would not put two and two together. I would even sit there and let him say it. I'm like, oh, is that it? That's all you want to say is I want to touch the stove. I want to start at train station. It's like, yeah, that's all I wanted to say. I'm like, okay, then it's not that mean. I'm not letting you speak. You did say that, but there's nothing to let you speak is to say I'm interrupting you. But you already said that you're starting at the train station. You didn't, and you paused, and you didn't say anything else, and then you confirmed that you weren't going to say anything else. I'm like, dude, the train station doesn't up and lift out of the ground itself. So, and I'm like, all right, you know what? I'm getting kind of fed up. I didn't say that, but I'm like, dude, what does it say? Does it say train station or does it say train for your final box? He says, and I'm like at the very bottom, and he's like, locations vary. I'm like, no, it fucking doesn't say that. I'm saying, what is the location that it says that? Like, I'm basically spelling it out for him, and he's like, locations vary. And this one went on back and forth for another 5, 6, 7 times. I'm like, dude, what does the full thing say? And I say this for another 4 times, and he finally doesn't. And he finally, after the 4 extra times, and this is at like, what, 11th, 12th time at this point, and he's like, okay, train station locations vary. I'm like, no. What does it say? Does it say train station varies, or does it say something else? He's like, train location varies. There you fucking go. I'm like, what the? What are you supposed to? It doesn't say train station. It says train. So you get it? He's like, yeah, I'm gonna start a train station. I'm like, no, okay. It clearly it's like, whoosh. He's just an idiot, and he's getting pissed off at me. And I'm like, dude, it's not at train station. And he's like, I know, but I'm starting at train station. I'm like, hold on a sec. So you say you know that it's not a train station. So then why would you start at a train station? And he's like, let me speak. I'm like, okay. And then he doesn't say anything. I'm like, so you're starting at train station? She's like, yeah. But you do realize that it's not train station, it has nothing to do with train station, it's nowhere near a train station. He's like, he doesn't say anything. It's like, but I'm starting at train station. I'm like, dude, you're a fucking retard. I don't know if he's trolling me at this point or if he's this ignorant. And he's literally, he keeps dying, going back to train station, dying, picking up the vials, going back to human, going back to train station. And at this point, it's already in the within the first like 4 times he's brought himself back. Uh, and actually no, he didn't brought himself back. He brought himself back like twice, and then there's 3 other times where I just bought him back because I had a shit ton of money and I had like 9 kills. And it's just like, dude, you're just going to kill yourself, right? Because you can't do anything, you can't get any boxes when you're a zombie, And when I buy you back, it's already in the smoke, so you can't do anything. It's like, yeah, but I'm strong. It's like, no, 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 you don't finish that sentence, dude. Don't finish that sentence. I'm honestly gonna say this for legit. You're a fucking retard, and I don't say this lightly. I'm saying you're 100% a fucking retard. You're like, I'm not touching the stove, as I see your fucking hand melting and scorching itself touching the stove. I'm like, do you not? Where's your hand? He's like, it's on the stove. Correct. Now, what did I tell you not to do? Not to touch the stove, right? So what are you doing? I'm not touching the stove. And he's not getting past it. He's literally insane. And I'm like, okay. So everyone who's intelligent and has a common sense either, like would understand is one of three things. One, it's either, with people not figuring it out what people's first idea. And here's the thought process that actually makes sense, okay? Okay, train station. That's fine. If it's completely separate from what I just told you guys. Alright, fine. If it's a train station, then it would say train station. But Call of Duty is such full of shit, so lazy, and they actually went out of their way to break this game, right? And they, just say a big old fuck you to the fans, right? With the recent players and all the other shit they've put in here, that have been like glitches and bugs intentionally, and I actually had, that was confirmed by a lot of different people, other YouTubers as well. So it's like, okay. So if it's not a trade station, I'm thinking like when challenges where it says either it's too vague, or the challenge is wrong, or it's you have to do a certain thing for the challenge to work, or sometimes the challenge only works halfway, or sometimes, and that's what happens in this game and other games and whatever, but mostly in this game. And it's like, okay, so if the challenge example says get quickscopes in this game mode, unless you're playing multiplayer, you can quickscope till the cows come home. It's not going to count. You could say get start challenges in downtown. Half the time, if you start them, it will count. Half the time, it won't. Even if you grab it, it won't. Increase your counter. Like 1 out of 3, 2 out of 3, it'll just stay stuck. Other times it will like work if your teammates grab it. The other half of the time it won't. You see what I'm saying? There's any number of possibilities, and so you can try train station because maybe they left out the train station part. But then it's like the location varies. That's kind of confusing. But if you're just rushing into it, you're not thinking. I can understand that. But when you're that idiotic, where it's like he's literally seeing the answer, then it just like goes right over his head. It's just like, bruh. You'd be smoking something, you'd be fucking up your brain somehow, you'd be you're drunk, whatever. But it's like, no, he's just a pure retard, legit, straight up. So, yeah, no cap. And then the other thing is like, okay, it's the metro, the train stations down there where it's like you're going to different locations. The locations vary. Okay, that's fine, but that's not it. So. And it doesn't say train stations, it doesn't say metro train stations, it doesn't say underground train stations, so it's like, it just says train. Location varies. I'm like, okay. So it's not any of those. Knowing how fucked up Call of Duty is, sometimes it's super literal, sometimes it's completely vague, and this time it says train locations varies. Well, after you've tried all those, then guess what you can do? Then you try the train itself, that moves around the map on the train tracks, not part of the train station, not underground, just the freaking train that everyone hops aboard, And he wasn't getting that. So it's like, bro, you're a legit dumbass. And then he rage quit, cursing and telling me how I didn't know what I'm talking about, and that I'm, saying the exact same thing as I'm saying. Like, I'm saying I'm retarded. Everyone knows you're supposed to go at train station. I'm like, what? And he's like, oh yeah, I always start at train station. I'm like, but the train doesn't always. I don't even know if the train goes past train station. I know it goes in a full circle, and it might go off the edge of the train station. No, not even the train station, because the train station is kind of like inner more. You would have. It's like it cuts across around Boneyard, and train station's like more of an interior, it's not running alongside of it. So, and it doesn't run through it on any of the train tracks within train station. So, yeah, I don't even think that's a thing. And if it were to spawn near train station, then that's fine. But like, you don't need to go to start it. Like he keeps saying, start a train station. Just all you got to do is say, okay, there's the moving train. As long as it's not in the smoke, going towards the smoke. If it's just coming out of the smoke, I go towards it. So by the time I get there, it comes out. I wait for it. Or if it's just heading into the smoke and there's no time to go for it, and it's gonna be a while, then it either goes to the location where it's gonna pop out of, which might take a shit ton of time, or you just can't go to the train that game. In Zombie Royale anyway. And that's what we're playing, and that's what he's doing, and it's like, you don't start at the train station, you start at the fucking train. You go to the train, you go to the fucking train. It's like, how hard is that to understand? And I'm literally trying to spell it out for him, and he's still not getting it. It's just a whoosh, whoosh, right over his head. And I'm like, you know what, dude? Oh, whatever, And he rage quits, he gets all pissy and acts like a little bitch, and then that's it. So yeah, guys, I want to make a tips and tricks video later on. I have some videos I've recorded of people hacking, some proximity lag switches, which, by the way, I've coined the name myself. I've had that name coined since original Call of Duty. I found out of a new hack or mod that people have been doing, where it's like where they can make your screen black screen, where you can't do anything. Even if you kill yourself, that entire game, your screen will be black. Now, it was for their teammate who was upset that he kept dying, so he just black screened my screen. I'm like, because I guess I was doing well, and the game had just started, and I already had like 8 kills within like 4 minutes, because it was just a hot activity and no one could, destroy me. I was destroying everyone else, and he's just like all salty or whatever. He's like, you're a hacker. I'm like, no, I'm just good. And so he black screened my screen. Nothing worked, so we had to, me and my party had to leave the game, because it was me, one other guy, and then we had random, and that was the guy that fucking hacked my shit. I'm like, bro, for real? And so, yeah, that's a new hack. New hackers and new hacks are coming out. It's kind of sad. It's messed up, because literally you're letting a game play itself. You're literally just pressing a button, and you think you're good. It's like pressing a big red button, and oh, you're getting triple headshots and all that. It's like, there's no skill in pressing a button. There's skill in, timing and maneuvering, and it's like, dude, you're just pressing a button. You just aim and shoot. That's it. 2 buttons. Not even that if you have the right program. So it's so stupid. And yeah, I just want to let you guys know how crazy that is. I'll try to get some of the footage. I think I have a clip of it somewhere. But it just happened, so I'll try to, edit it and show you, so it's like more clean, and so because I have it about 30-minute span now. It's not a 30-minute video, so yeah. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Leave a like, smash the bell, the subscribe button, hit me up on Patreon, share this video, and you know the drill. Peace.